AI is not going to replace pentest or pentesters because it has fundamental problems that I'm going to cover in this video. I've done my research to answer the following question: is my job becoming obsolete? Are all of my skills becoming worthless? I've spent for now already 8 years in the field of cybersecurity, more than half of it by playing on the offensive side. I have had more than 40 projects only in external pen tests by breaking external perimeter of companies and exfiltrating sensitive data, lots of which would have costed millions of dollars. This job was so much fun, but learning curve has never ended, and I am still interested in how the things are going, what exploits are coming out, and shifting traditional approach of cybersecurity. Also, now I am an in-house cybersecurity engineer and I have to note current trends. All I was seeing in my X feed was AI found 500 zero-days flaws. AI is ranked as top 1 on HackerOne. AI found 12 out of 12 OpenSSL 0 days. And the recent one is AI found 22 high-severity vulnerabilities in Firefox in just 2 weeks. Let's review all of their hype and tell if it's worth taking into account when choosing future career path. First one is a claim from Anthropic team that their model found more than 500 zero-day vulnerabilities in open source projects. So far, we've found and validated more than 500 high-severity vulnerabilities. We've begun reporting them and are seeing our initial patches land, and we're continuing to work with maintainers to patch the others. In this post, we'll walk through our methodology, share some early examples of vulnerabilities Claude discovered, and discuss the safeguards we've put in place to manage misuse as these capabilities continue to improve. This is just the beginning of our efforts. We'll have more to share these work scales. This was the quote from their blog post on their site redanthropic.com. Their claim is that they've tested open source projects, but they don't disclose the names. So we know those guys on LinkedIn with CVEs and God knows for it. Software like minor versions of router software or old CMS, which no one is actually using nowadays. But it's always easier to say, hey look, I have proven my skills, I have CVE, because no one will check what was the vulnerability and where. So in my opinion, they're just that guy right now. Everything is for the sake of hype and marketing. And of course investors' money, but not really cybersecurity and some milestones being reached. Maybe the findings from Anthropic are solid, and we should just wait for the responsible disclosure. And also for me, AI role in it is debatable, because bugs can be found solely by AI or just with the help of AI. In this situation, we just have to wait. And don't forget that news come from Anthropic themselves, so it can be just a marketing move. And we are switching to marketing moves by reviewing next topic. AI is ranked as top 1 on HackerOne leaderboard. Everyone must have heard about Xbo and them smashing HackerOne leaderboard by submitting bugs at an industrial scale. But if we review their impact and reputation, they're just average. Impact is 11, meaning they are fundings, but most of them are medium severity and found in private programs. And reputation is only 263 when you get for low bugs from 5 to 10, for medium from 20 to 50, for high is 100 plus, and critical above 200. For comparison, top 1 individual on leaderboard for now has impact of 14 and reputation of 8,920, and most of bugs are found in public programs. Hit like and subscribe button and we'll continue. And ask yourself a question. One bug can cost thousands of dollars, and if your solution is so good at it, why bother by collecting investors' money and selling it as a scanner? You can make a fortune out of a bug bounty. Also, they've shown that their benchmark is that they've solved 75% of Portswigger Academy, which is generally not bad, but I can do the same and even 100% because there's no secret in reading write-ups and hints. For me, it's the same as benchmark by solving OWASP Juicy Shop. There are tons of articles about that and step-by-step hacking guides. You just go to the internet and search for them. And yesterday, Anthropic dropped a bomb in X by posting their model found 22 high-severity vulnerabilities. And they were confirmed by Mozilla team, and it was done just in 2 weeks. Reading their blog post, I noticed some interesting points. They don't share their setup, which was used for this particular task, and also how much money this experiment cost. There were 7 researchers who guided model while it was performing fuzzing and not letting it to loop itself. 7 highly qualified researchers can cost an average of 7 multiplied by 130, it's about $1,000 a day, and they disclosed that the model burned $4,000 worth of tokens while producing a single exploit for found vulnerability. However, Anthropics are stating that this gap when model is much better at finding vulnerabilities rather than writing exploits for them will be closed in the nearest future, so we'll see that. I made an experiment myself with bug bounty and I was given just targets to Opus model and found some interesting results I want to share with you. At first, I submitted my log from Burp Soup logger and asked it to identify potential flaws that can lead to vulnerability. Opus pointed me at some IDORs, but none of them actually worked. When I installed MCP and let the AI do the job by itself, the results just shocked me. I've seen none of that hype coming. Claude just kept failing and suggested retrying, which will just repeat the cycle and consume all the tokens available, eventually running into daily limit, or how's that 5 hours window called, but producing zero interesting results. Even when submitted example of requests and responses, it failed to extract correct authorization token and struggled with format of requests. It began propping requests, omitting cookies, and ran into 500 or 401 more often. More of that, it identified vulnerability. Just listen to this. It was possible to hit likes on comments. The problem was that this was legitimate functionality, but because it saw that comment ID contained increasing numerical values, it just suggested that it was possible to produce millions of likes on one comment, which was not true, because it hasn't confirmed it, and when it tried with confirming it by sending concurrent requests in parallel, it just failed because there was no such possibility. Many people from X are also stating the same problem, that sometimes it's just burning tokens and doing nothing. So here come the three main problems of an AI and why it's never going to replace pentesters and pentests. The first of it is U-shaped attention curve, the second is lack of context, and the third is bad at scoring vulnerabilities. First problem is that AI is good at the beginning of context and at the end, but bad in the middle. But pentest is about attention to details and connecting components and collecting a lot of information. For now, only human is good at it. By increasing resources, it will make usage of AI just inadequately expensive and less performing, rather than just a human with salary. Second problem is lack of context. AI has a limitation of context size, and the big projects with a lot of information, it just starts erasing previous data. That's why it is so difficult to find zero days in big projects, like operating systems or something with a lot of actions in the middle. I saw it myself when, after one day of doing bug bounty, I started to completely forget everything, like I was doing project with old lady with dementia. It is possible to increase context though by implementing summarization, but when you summarize something, you eventually omit detail, which might be important in the future. It's like you hear the story that then been summarized and retold by 10 different people. Imagine how far from original it becomes. Final message and moral of the story can be completely different from the original. The last but not least is that AI and particularly LLM are just machines of guessing the next word in a sequence. So don't expect from them that they will correctly score vulnerabilities, especially in a big context with large number of participants, of systems and incoming trends and expecting some future. They're good though on routine tasks which are well studied, like parsing data or performing trivial actions like recon on target and launching tools with correct flag. But when it comes to analysis, things are getting much harder for them. People divided, with one saying that AI is performing better than human and the opposite are saying that this is garbage and doesn't really work. I think the truth is somewhere in the middle as always, that this is a good tool which needs direction from a person and overall checking of results. So in the conclusion, I want to say that just don't worry and continue acquiring skills that are always in demand, such as attention to details and fundamental knowledge. I think that everything is coming to the point where AI will be able to do complex work and achieve above human level for certain, but that will cost an adequate level of money and resources. AI is a good tool, but it needs to be guided because it can stuck itself in circles, repeating the same task, and this has to be prevented by guidance from a human operator. Thank you for watching this video, hit like and subscribe button.